she was like, well, at this rate, you'll never complete your program. It'll never. And she was like, at the rate you're moving, you'll never get Facebook ads. You'll never know. So you might as well just not even think about it. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Unedited, where we talk all things sales, marketing, and mindset. My name is Lauren Nelson. I am your favorite sales and marketing coach. And today, I'm going to tell you about a horror story. Probably the worst sales call that I have ever been on in my entire life. And the lessons that I have been able to take from this experience, I believe will be very important for you to understand and to just take in fully so that you will not make the same mistakes, because the mistakes that were made in the call that I had attended will not only cost you sales, right? But it will cost you your reputation as well. Now, before I get into the story that I want to tell you, I first want to give some disclaimers. First, I don't hate this woman. It is quite unfortunate how our interaction went. However, you know, you live and you learn. Number two, at the end of the day, we are all human doing the best we can with what we have. So I don't fault her again. Like, it was 7 p.m. where she was. You know, maybe she was tired, maybe she wasn't thinking correctly. So, you know, things happen. And also, the third thing, none of us are perfect. And this is really important to consider, just to be able to give other people grace. Unfortunately, I would say unfortunately for her, I like to take my bad experiences and use them as teaching moments for you guys. But outside of that, like, I don't have any hate for her. I was upset, I will say, because the things that I'll be sharing with you, they were pretty hurtful and, you know, very unexpected to hear. But at the end of the day, we're all human, we make mistakes. And I'm sure her intentions were not to try to hurt me or make me feel bad in any way. But, you know, it was just bad timing on her part. So with that being said, let me give you some context around what happened before this call. And just let me give you context about the entire situation. So about a month or so ago, I found this woman on social media. And she is in the sales industry. However, unlike me, she teaches sales teams how to help CEOs to scale their businesses. So you know how a lot of us right now, we are the sales reps for our own companies, right? So we do a lot of the one-on-one interactions. So she helps build a team to take that load off of the CEOs so we can focus on doing the work that matters. So that was something I was really interested in. Oops, sorry, my iPad is going crazy. So that was something I was really interested in. And also another thing that was really interesting was that her team did done for you work. So they ran the ads for you. And as I'm in a phase of my business where I'm doing a lot of product development, I'm really focusing on creating content and building my personal brand and building these relationships, you know, you only have so many hours within a day. So I was like, wow, this would be a great opportunity to have that outsourced. And so I wanted to learn more. Now, mind you, I didn't want to learn more immediately. I was having a great time just consuming her content, and just learning from her that way. And really, I had put her in my back pocket. So within the next couple months, once I had fully developed all of my services and products that I want to offer to you guys, then I would have the option to be able to reach out to her and, you know, get the process started. Now, fast forward, maybe like 5 days after I followed her and, you know, started engaging with her content, she started DMing me. And immediately she's like asking me about my business, what are the problems that I'm having, you know, just the normal stuff. And so I communicated to her, listen, like, I'm really focused on building out my program right now. That's something that's very important to me. I'm not a fan of just putting out random stuff and really low quality things. Like, I pride myself in my integrity and the results that I'm able to give my clients. So I've been spending a lot of time developing this upcoming, well, the Convert Academy. And so she knew that. And yet she would still ask me if I wanted to hop on a call. And so I'd be like, okay, like, I don't have time now, but maybe later. So fast forward a couple weeks later, she asked me if I could get on another call. And I was like, you know what, okay, fine, we can schedule a call. Mind you, during this time, we set the call, and then a couple days later, all of the service went out in Ghana. So I had no way to communicate. I couldn't take calls. I couldn't really do anything. So I told her, like, okay, you know, this was great. This was great. I'm so happy we had to set up a call. But how about once I'm ready, I will reach back out to you. Because one, I don't know when the service will be back. You know, they cut the wires, all that stuff. And also, like I said, I'm focused on building my product. I really don't have a need for your service at this moment, but like soon I will. And so I will call you when I'm ready. And mind you, I didn't say all of that, and maybe that was my mistake, but I did tell her multiple times, I'll message you when I'm ready to have the call. Fast forward 2-3 days, she checked in again to see if my service was back on. So I was like, yeah, the service is back on. And she was like, okay, well, let's set a call for Friday. So she's a very direct closer. She's very direct, which is great when you have a qualified lead who is ready to take action now. However, in this case, I was not ready to take action now. So I'm giving her all these signs that I'm not ready. I am not a qualified lead, even though I am in her niche, but now is not the right time. So I decided, like, okay, you know, she's pressing this call so much. Sure, I'll get on the call and we'll see what goes, we'll see what happens, right? Like, what's the worst that can happen? I know about your services, I know your prices, and once I'm ready, I can make that investment. And so the day comes, right? It's Friday. For me, it's 11 p.m. I stayed up for this call. And it's 7 p.m. for her. We get on the call, you know, at first it's great. She's like, hey, high energy. And, you know, she starts telling me about her dogs. I guess that was her icebreaker to try to, you know, break the tension in the call or just make things more casual. So she told me that her dog was in heat, and she said if she's looking over, she's looking at her dogs. And I'm like, okay, cool, great. So she gets to asking me, like, what are your main problems right now? Mind you, I told her that right now my main focus is my program and building my personal brand. So I told her, like, well, you know, right now I'm focused on building my program. You know, the same thing. I'm consistently saying the same thing because I mean what I say. And it gets to the point where she's like, okay, well, it doesn't really sound like you have any problems. So why did you get on the call? Why did I get on the call? I was like, wild of a person to ask who was literally begging me to get on the call. But you know, I kept my composure. And I was like, well, I was getting on the call because I was interested in learning more about the ads, and I was interested in learning more about the sales teams. Like, I had some questions. And she said to me, well, it doesn't really seem like it's your main focus right now. And I said, yeah, it's not my main focus. I'm focused, like, it's really important to me to develop out quality products. And she was like, well, at this rate, you'll never complete your program. It'll never get out. And she was like, at the rate you're moving, you'll never get Facebook ads out. You'll never run them. So you might as well just not even think about it. And so I got to a point where I was just so confused because I had never been spoken to this way by a professional, you know. And then also, if I'm thinking about hiring her to build a sales team for me, and this is how she communicates to me, I don't know if I want her to train my sales team. Oh, and mind you, I told her I started developing this program in January. And she said, if you didn't have it done by this time, you'll never get it done. Last time I checked, Alex Hormozy took 2 years to write a book that is less than 200 pages. I'm developing out an entire program, a high ticket program that it just doesn't make any sense. It just didn't make any sense to me. So it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm done with the call. Thank you so much for taking time out talking with me. Like, I really appreciate you for making the space. And then immediately she got back on script. And she was like, you know what? Yeah, thank you. And you know what? I think for you, it'd be a really good time for you to just focus on your program. Just focus on your program. And I'm like, I just said that to you, but okay. And so really guys, there were a few main things I want to share with you that I got from this entire lesson, because one, let me break it down this way. There are three main things that I took away from this interaction. The first thing is to listen to your audience. In the DMs, she could have been very clear about where I was, right? And she could have qualified me to see if I was even ready to get on a call, if I was even ready to make those next steps. Like, why push someone to get on a call and then have the audacity to ask, why did you get on the call? Like, why didn't you qualify me, right? And so that's number one. Make sure, if you want to make the most of your time, make the most out of your sales calls, qualify your leads beforehand so you're not left feeling some type of way with these expectations that are not met, right? But then at the same time, also know that if the person or the person is in your niche, that's a relationship that can be built. For me, for example, I was someone who could have got into her funnel and I would have been a qualified lead ready to buy in about 2 or 3 months. Because she wasn't willing to build a relationship, because she wanted to hard close me so bad, she turned me off to even wanting to work with her at all. You know, so it's like, make sure that you have the patience necessary to nurture your funnel rather than just trying to close, because now she burned the bridge. I don't want to work with her, right? Because obviously there are many other coaches in the industry who do similar things to her. So it's like, she talks to me any type of way. Why would she tells me I'll never get my things out. She'll tell me I never will be able to run ads. Like, why would I want to go to a coach who tries to belittle me for not buying her things immediately, right? And another thing that's important to understand, and a big lesson that I took away from this, is really listen to your audience, right? It's one thing to qualify, but it's another thing to listen and to actually hear. The entire call, I was communicating to her why I believe quality is so important and why, you know, I really value putting the time, energy, and effort into the things that I create. If she would have hit on those points for me, being like, oh, I totally understand, like, quality is important, and I'm happy that you're taking the necessary time to develop a product that you can be proud of, I would be like, period, like, she gets me. She gets me, and she wants to see me win, and she cares about the impact. But based off of her answers and her responses to me saying those things, to me communicating my values and my beliefs, like, girl, we don't align. Because why are you trying to force me to rush a product and put out crap? I told you, I don't want to put out shitty products. Yet you're saying, if you don't get it out, if you haven't got it out now, it'll never go out. So I see how you work. Because I would want any of my clients to make sure that before they are selling, before they're putting things out, that they have done the customer research, that they have made sure that the product works, the service works, right? Because we're not just trying to take people's money. We don't do that, okay? So yeah, that was the second thing. And let me just think, the last thing that I took away from this call, oh yes, the very last thing, make sure that you realize that relationships do matter, right? Building relationships, building trust, nurturing relationships. This is all a part of sales. Sales is not just about closing. Sales is not just about getting the money. Sales is about relationship building. And this is where there's this disconnect between good sales and bad sales. Bad sales is when you are only thinking about the money and you just run over people to get the money, right? You don't consider people, you aren't thoughtful of people, you do very tasteless things. However, good sales means that you are taking the time to listen, you are taking the time to understand. You're trying to figure out, where does this person need help? How can I best support this person? You figure out the questions you need to ask to meet them where they are. That is good selling. And so once you realize this, you will be able to start stepping into your arena, your industry, and providing the best service and the best sales experience to your audience. You want to be so good at selling where people are like, oh my God, like I want to go back to her. She made me feel so at ease. She made me feel so relaxed, so comfortable while just interacting with her, because I knew she had my best interest at heart. I knew she was actually listening to me and not just trying to push her own agenda onto me just to make a sale. And that's what will set you apart from everyone else in this world at this point. Genuinely being a nice person, genuinely being a thoughtful person, genuinely caring about others and their results. So that was my experience. Like I said, I did get off the call. I was very frustrated. Like I was very flustered. I was like, I can't believe anybody had the audacity to say that to me. Like, who is this? Like, do I even know you for you to talk to me like this? I don't. But, you know, like I said, there's lessons in everything. And I'm happy I was able to experience this sales call, because honestly, I haven't been on a sales call in a minute. Like, I haven't. A lot of my investments I've just bought straight out, right, from a sales page. But I think this was a very good lesson for me to have, just for my new people who are coming in who want to learn how to sell, that I can relay to them what not to do, right? So with that being said, I hope this story time was helpful for you. I hope you were able to take some really important things away from it that you can then apply into your own business. But with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. And for your daily reminders, I know I've been saying the wait list is out. It will be going out today. I am so sorry. I had to postpone it because the guy who was designing for me, it's been, but once this video goes out, I would say by the end of today. I don't know when you'll be watching this, but just know the wait list is down below for the Convert Academy, which will be officially launching in May. It is an intensive sales training program where I will teach you how to sell using your personal brand online so that you can attract, nurture, and convert, and communicate your message clearly, being able to communicate your value to your audience with no confusion. So that is that. And the last thing, if you have not already gotten my free sales training, go ahead, click the link down below, get that ASAP. I promise you, first and last sales training that you will ever need to take in regards to sales content. If you want your content to convert, you know where to go. All right, so with that being said, I love you guys so much as always, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.